Something that I've been really interested in lately and just trying to really tap into is this power of an imagination. I feel like humans have this superpower that we overlook. We can use it at any time, but for some reason we're numb to it. We shut it off. We turn it off, and I feel like it could be all kinds of different reasons of why we do that. I'm thinking, the big ones are, the things that we watch, the news, social media. These things kind of take us away from this creative place, and it literally strips us away from our powers because we're almost being controlled by the things that are catching our attention. And when we watch things, and usually it's bad or controversial things, it throws our imagination in all sorts of different directions. When before, your imagination might have been in this calm, cool, collected, kind of let me paint a picture in my head place. Whereas now, with these pictures and images that are being presented in front of you, they've already painted that picture for you. And now you got all kinds of different people spewing, their own thoughts at you, telling you how you should think, how you should live. Sometimes sometimes it can get a little overwhelming. You end up in this place where you want to yell and scream like, just shut it off, please just shut it off. And this is the struggle that I think a lot of people, including myself, might be sort of trapped in sometimes. And it's something that I'm really beginning to become very aware of. I got this little office space that I'm in right now, in the house, and I just, I turned it into basically this altar. The whole entire room, not just a little space, like the whole entire room. I'm trying to turn it into that because, I've got candles set up in here. I got a little dream vision board set up. I got some of my favorite biblical quotes on the wall, motivational quotes, and I'm just trying to set it up as this place I can kind of just get away for a little bit. Relax, write, make music, read, pray, just sit in silence for a bit, and I'm really enjoying it. And thinking about this, it makes me think of, I don't know why I'm getting this random thought, but if any of you guys have played sports out there, like when you're on the football field or you're in a basketball game or, you're doing whatever, you're in the moment. Like you're focused at this task at hand. It's like, what I'm trying to say is everything else outside of the game, like all the bullshit that's going on, it's this little, you're just not aware of it. Like you're not thinking about it. And the thing is like like your teammates, right? They're of all kinds of sorts of races. It doesn't, black, white, Asian, whatever it is, skin color, whatever, nerdy, cool kid, like grades are different. I don't know, whatever it is that separates you guys, as being different. Like you're all on one team working together, and all the noise outside of the game, like it's just gone. And it's got to be one of the greatest feelings that you could ever experience in life is when you're playing a sport where nothing else matters but that. It's really neat. It's really cool. I do miss that. But, getting back to this little office space that I've kind of, created for myself, I am really enjoying it, and I do want to be careful not to isolate myself too much, because I also have fell into that trap, for sure, where, it really can make you depressed, for the longest time, when I started my barbecue business back in the day, or when I was driving for like Uber Eats and stuff, like I was just always alone, like never wanting to, be around people, just trying to isolate myself as much away from people as possible. And you can kind of get into this funk where like you don't even know how to act around people anymore. And for some strange reason, it really does make you depressed. Like, I think humans really do need interaction with each other. Because as soon as I forced myself out of that position and, actually got a job that where I'm working with people again, or like around people again, my whole entire mood just changed. It just flipped. Like I flipped the switch, and that depression sort of kind of lifted off of me, and I kind of got the sense of I don't know, this sense of like wanting to be around people again, or like just we're exchanging emotions. And yeah, anyways, without getting too deep into it, I really do feel like human beings need interaction. Like we need it for our own mental health, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, back to this office. I keep ranting, but back to this office. I pretty much let my wife take over the whole entire house and allow me to have this one room to myself. And it is working out pretty well. I enjoy it. She's quite the thrift shopper, and she's a pretty creative person herself. So it is kind of neat to see her creativity coming from like inside her mind out into this physical realm. Like it's almost like I've given her this big canvas, and she's just like putting stuff together, and I get to really see firsthand like what's kind of going on in her mind creatively. So I think that's pretty neat. Yeah, anyways, guys, I think we have to be really careful losing that power and that ability to create something, or numbing our imaginations, because everything great that's been given life on this planet, came from a thought, imagination, bad things too, but we are creative beings, and without imagination, without creativity, we would have, we wouldn't have discovered or created the beautiful things in our lives that, and I'm going to give you some examples here, like the refrigerator, how convenient is that? Light bulbs, cars, technology, like some of this technology, medicine, things that make our lives better as human beings. Like we wouldn't have created that without this superpower that just gets overlooked. Everybody can tap into it. Everyone has this. Everybody has this. And, imagination is it's really interesting. It's a really interesting thing to study, because it's something we can't really measure or explain, but it's powerful. It's like so powerful. It's like the most powerful thing on the planet. And I've listened to, a lot of Bob Proctor in the past, rest in peace. And using your imagination was something he talked a lot about. And I feel like it really does work. Myself, I use the power of imagination at my job to get into the position that I'm in right now. And I remember, this was a really, really tough time where, here in Canada, it is tough to find a job. And I was just having a rough time. I was putting in resumes everywhere, and it didn't matter if it was like a dishwasher at some place. Like I was just getting denied left and right. And I'm like, what is going on here? I know that I'm a hard worker. Whoever hires me right now, I'm going to give it my all. Like that's just who I am as a person. And, I was getting shut down from, some people were saying I was overqualified, and some people, like, it was just like, I couldn't get through the door, and I needed just an opportunity to like show people like what I can do for them, and when I got hired, when I finally got hired, there was like 20 people in my department. We all started off with part-time hours, right? And they were they were pretty bad sometimes. Like I'd get like 18 hours a week and sometimes even less. And I remember using my imagination through all of this. And I would just imagine myself like being the head of the department, the owner of the place. What would that look like? I remember driving to work, like on my way to work, I would pretend that I was in like this, I'm not trying to get too materialistic here, but just like this fancy car, just driving to work, like I was the boss. And then when I pulled into that parking lot, like it had the grocery store name on it, but I would imagine my name being like right in front of that grocery store name. And I would just sit in that place. I would just think about that. And yeah, it was really, really, really powerful. Just pretending like I was the owner of the place. And what would that feel like? How would I work? Like, how would I act? What would my decision making be like? And I would try to keep that image inside of my head for as long as I could. And it ended up working out because now there's only 4 people left in my department. It's the head department. I'm considered the assistant manager, and we have 2 part-timers on top of that. So it's almost like whatever job you're in, whatever it is, you just pretend like it's yours, and you let your mind kind of paint this image in your head that you're the, I don't know, it's like you're the boss of it, and like just live the life, like just start living the life that you want to live, and create that picture in your head. Hold it there as long as you can. Practice that every single day, and soon that life you're gonna be in that life. Like, we have the power, we have the ability to use our imagination to just how I want to say pretend, but it's like you can actually live it now. I don't know how to explain it. It's so hard to explain, but it's a place in your mind you can get to. And like I said, soon enough it's gonna be yours. So I feel like I can totally confirm that what Bob Proctor talks about in the book, like The Secret, or some of his speeches that he's done, like it really does work. But the hardest part is trying to get into that place in your mind. But once you get it, I mean, you're in it, and you got it. You got it. But you gotta, that's the biggest thing you gotta work on, is just trying to hold that image that you've painted. The power of being able to create, like, and just hold it there for as long as you can, and just start living it. Just pretend you're in it already, and I think that's a superpower that we just overlook as humans, and we all have the capability and ability to do that.